Hello. Well, this week's project went okay. Um, I had a few problems, but I also learned a few useful things for future work. My senior evasion project objective was to design a blow molding and cooling system to make them viable for use as commuters. My sprint objective for this week was to gather all parts required for the initial prototype cooling device, preferably locally, and modify those parts if needed to fit the device. I wasn't able to get everything locally. I managed to get some Peltiers, but they were a little underpowered. I did learn a few useful things about the cooling system, and I'll mention those in the different stages of the thinking hats. For my red hat, I feel that the project is going pretty well. I was originally slowed down by lack of parts, but then I managed to get a few. I think I'll be able to do better on the enclosure. I wasn't able to get enough cardboard, but I did locate a recumbent exercise bike that I could probably use for testing. On the positive side, for my yellow hat, the Peltier does work, the smaller ones that I managed to get. The cooling side's functioning well, and my power supply seems to be big enough. The small heat sinks are strong enough to displace all the extra heat, and there is a very noticeable difference in temperature when I hooked it up to a cooling element. For my black hat, things that didn't go well were mostly parts. I wasn't able to get all the parts I wanted locally. Although I did get some Peltiers, they weren't powerful enough to make a large enough cooling difference. I've since found out that 80 watts will be enough power generation to get them cool enough, I believe. The only other problems were lack of cardboard for an enclosure for an equal volume for velomobiles. For my green hat, I came up with a few solutions. One thing, I was lucky enough to find a water cooling system that I can buy locally. It's a little more expensive than the ones online, but it's easier to get. I was also able to order more powerful Peltiers online, and with the water cooling system I should be able to get the temperatures very low, so it should be low enough to work for the cooling system. I learned that the cooling area and the fan shouldn't be very close to the cooling element, because it seems that the fan puts too much heat into the cooling element, and I need a larger area to cool before forcing the air out. So I might make a circulating chamber designed to make it work more efficiently. Finally, for my blue hat, organizing. Organizing was probably one of my biggest problems, because well, it's the summer and I have to pick up Brian from school or from his camp thing every day, and he's not going to want to drive around and pick up parts with me. So I think this next week will be a little easier for my project, because he'll be staying at my mom's house. So I'll have a little more time to work on getting all the parts together. Also, I need to try to find more time for the enclosure. Mostly I just need the box, and then I can start building it, or at least enough cardboard. That's about all in terms of that. Mostly just better planning.